This video is going to be jam-packed full of information that's going to be really hard to find on the internet, especially in one place. We're going to kind of consolidate all of the cons, all of the things that are negatives that my clients have made comments on, my clients have asked questions about, the biggest concerns my clients have had when moving here, kind of consolidate all of that into this one video. We're going to talk about lack of amenities. We're going to talk about healthcare. While we talk about healthcare, I'm actually going to clip in a short bit of an interview I did with my parents as they retired here in Durango. Have a lot of experience with the healthcare system here and were in healthcare themselves. So we're going to clip in an interview from them. Then we're also going to clip in some pieces of a video I did all about the weather here in Durango, where we go into great depth talking about the differences of temperatures, differences of snowfall in other areas of Colorado. Clip some of that video in so you can get kind of the highlights of that video, then also show you that video so you can go look at that later. Then we're going to also talk about all of the things there are to do for kids here. Briefly go over more of the cons, more of the negatives of things that aren't here to do for kids, then show you some links to some videos we did all about things to do for kids so that you can check that one out later if you're interested in that. And then we're also going to talk all about the housing market, the home prices, why it might be tough to buy here, and a lot of the things that most people don't consider when buying here that are some negatives that you really want to watch out for, and we're jumping into it right now. As much as I love shooting these videos for you guys, I love even more helping you with your real estate goals. So if you're ever thinking about moving to Durango, Pagosa, Bayfield, this entire Southwest Colorado area, give me a call, text or email, days, nights, or weekends. Would love to help you with all of your real estate needs. Let's jump back into the video. All right, so we're gonna start this video with number one being the lack of amenities. So I'm gonna start by just kind of doing a brief overview, telling you Durango, Colorado sits here just a little bit across the border from New Mexico. We're about 40 minutes or so across the border from New Mexico. And we've got Farmington is going to be the closest bigger town, roughly about 50 minutes. We'll put up on the screen the distance to downtown Durango from Farmington, but going to say a little bit less than an hour. And then you've got Albuquerque, approximately 3.5 hours away from Durango, as far as really the next two biggest towns from us. Obviously, we've got Grand Junction. They're roughly in that 3.5 to 4 hour range as well. And then you've got Denver, give or take, kind of that 6 hour range. We'll put on the screen the distance to Denver as well. So I want to start by saying next closest bigger towns, really going to be Farmington. It's going to be the closest one at under an hour. So Farmington has a bigger mall, much bigger mall than we do, much bigger box retail stores than we do. They've also got a lot of places like Target. They've got a lot more restaurants, a lot more fast food type restaurants as well. I'll kind of dive into what we have in our mall, which we don't have a whole lot. We've got TJ Maxx, Boot Barn, Ross, Zoomies, Bath & Body Works, Shoe Department, Spirit Halloween. That's just right now, of course. Old Navy, and that's really about it at the mall here. And then we do have 2 movie theaters. We've got a nice downtown, but when you're talking about looking for clothes, you're really going to be looking at a lot more expensive options that are downtown. They're going to have a lot more custom type stuff, a lot more local type stores here that aren't your more big box stores like your Target, Dillard's. We don't have a lot of those types of stores here. And then when we talk about just outdoor stores, we've got a pretty good selection of outdoor type stores because that's really what Durango is focused around. So I'd say we have a pretty good selection of clothes for the outdoors, camping gear, tents, all that kind of stuff. We've got a great store that does rent outdoor camping gear as well. Backcountry Experience is the name of that store. And then let's talk a little bit more about grocery stores. I personally think we have really good options for grocery stores because I'd say Durango is pretty health conscious. So you will have some good health food stores. We've got Nature's Oasis. They are kind of your Whole Foods type store, if you will. Similar store, similar products to Whole Foods. They have a really nice juice bar, sandwich bar where you can go up, order a sandwich, order a great smoothie. They also have a really good selection of like grass-fed beef, steaks, a lot of beef that's local, meats that are local. They've got a really good section of things like pastries, brownies, breads that are fresh. Then they've got a really nice seafood section as well. They also have a liquor store attached to them with some really good selections as well. Really nice little area to sit out and eat. They're kind of right over the hill from the river, and the river trail, actually the Animas River Trail, kind of connects to them. So you could be going for a walk, pop up off the river trail and grab a smoothie, just keep going for your walk. So really nice location. They're a little bit south of downtown Durango. And then we've got Natural Grocers. Natural Grocers right in town Durango, right across from City Market. Really convenient location. Myself, my family really likes to shop there. They've got a great selection again, a lot of different produce, a lot of great organic selections, a lot of great options for eggs, cage-free eggs, organic. They've got a lot of great selections for beef as well. Maybe not as many selections, as much of a selection as Nature's Oasis has, but really both great options as far as health food. And then you're gonna have City Market. City Market's gonna be more like your Albertsons, your Smith's type store, and they're still a very popular grocery store. Got two options, two locations for City Market. I've heard the rumor that they're putting the City Market in near Three Springs, which is going east from town, about 10 minutes or so east from town. And then we've also got an Albertsons, just as you're coming, right as you're getting into town, into that kind of downtown Durango area. So in my opinion, we've got some great selections for grocery stores. We don't have a Target, we don't have a Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's, your closest, is gonna be down in Albuquerque, about 3.5 hours away. And then your closest Target is going to be over in Farmington, about 50 minutes or so away. Now, of course, I've still got to mention some of the things we do have. I'll list off a few things that we do have, some really cool local amenities. We just got an awesome rock climbing gym that we have here in Durango. We've also got a really nice community center. The community center has good-sized basketball courts. Above the basketball courts, they have a track that you can walk, about 130 yards or so, that you can walk around, especially in the winter when it's cold. If you like to get up early, great spot to get some exercise in. We've got a good gym. I wouldn't say it's an amazing gym, but they have kind of everything you need, is the way that I would explain it. They've got several power racks, several benches, several incline benches, a lot of different machines as well. And then they have a studio for yoga and Zumba and different classes. They've also got a lot of ellipticals, bikes, they've got a lot of treadmills. Then they have a really nice swimming pool. This pool has diving boards. It's got a rope for kids to jump in the water. It's got a high dive, a lower dive diving board. They have swim meets that are there, and then they have a whole separate pool for kids that are younger in your, 0 or 1 to like 10, 12 years old kind of range. And then they also have a little outdoor play area for in the summer, kind of a little splash pad area as well. Then regarding their location, they're located really nicely right off of the Animas River Trail. So if you end up living in town or you just want to be able to get your workout in, then go for a run on the Animas River Trail. That's something I really like to do. I work out with a good buddy there 3 or 4 days a week, and then I'll go for a run on the Animas River Trail. Or right outside of the rec center is a nice grass field, grass park, I should say, with some swing set. Don't know if there's swing sets there, but there's a playground right there as well. And so we'll either bring the kids there, do a workout, or while my wife is walking on the Animas River Trail, she'll bring the kids there. They can play for a little while, and then she'll walk back to the car. We'll also do a workout in that park right there, or that little field right there as well. So a lot of awesome options. It's not just kind of a gym where you park and go in and nothing else to do outside. A lot of great options outside as well. We've got some other great gym options as well, but want to point out that one specifically. We've got some great CrossFit gyms, some great kind of gyms that are a little bit of both, that are MMA, but also have CrossFit type stuff. Also have a Ninja Warrior course inside the gym. There's some great gyms like that, actually one specifically. Then we've also got pickleball courts. Durango just put in a bunch of pickleball courts right off of the Animas River Trail as well. So that's a really cool amenity that was added. We've got a good amount of tennis courts throughout, just kind of the downtown Durango area. Just looking down at my notes, don't want to forget anything. We've got some great restaurants as well. I will say Durango does a really good job in the food scene, if you will, the restaurant scene. We just ate at a great restaurant, a couple of great restaurants the other day for my birthday, and so I really recommend checking out the downtown area for restaurants. I will say, if I discuss certain restaurants on a video, they're not always going to be there necessarily. If you see this video in 2 years from now, definitely check what's new. There's definitely new restaurants kind of turning over and coming into town, so definitely worth checking that out. The restaurant that we ate at for my birthday was actually called Eola's. Highly recommend them. They're definitely higher end restaurant, more fine dining, but they're really, really good. And definitely let me know if you guys have specific types of food that you like, and I'm happy to refer you to a great restaurant. One place I always recommend, or I always like taking my clients, is a 11th Street Station. Just went there with some great clients of mine about 30 minutes ago before shooting this video. We had an ahi poke bowl as well as a Mexican bowl. Really healthy, great options in one of those food trucks right there. Then I can't talk about the amenities without bringing up fly fishing. In my opinion, without going into too much detail, we are the best location to live across the entire state for fly fishing. We've got great access to the San Juan River. We've got the Animas River running right through us. We've got a bunch of great alpine lakes. We've also got the Dolores River up the road from us a little bit. Got just tons of great fisheries throughout here. A lot of private ponds, a lot of neighborhoods and subdivisions that have private lakes or the river running through them. Let me know if you guys would really like to live on water or near water, or if fly fishing is important to you. We'll put my number up on the screen. Make sure to let me know if that's something that's important to you as well. Then last year I had a client move here that is really good at jiu-jitsu, and they were asking me what the jiu-jitsu gym is like here, and I actually go to jiu-jitsu as well and told them it's really awesome. I can't recommend it enough. The coaches there, or I should say professors there, are really good, really care about you. I would say they're impressed and surprised with how much they really just care and want to make sure they're working with you on the stuff that you're really trying to work on. So definitely worth checking the Durango martial arts out if you're curious about jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, boxing, any kind of martial arts. They've also got a little gym in there as well, power rack and weights, and so definitely worth checking them out if you're curious about that, or if you do jiu-jitsu or kickboxing. All right, the next con of living in Durango, or thing that you really need to know, is the harsh winters and the types of winters that we get here. So I want to start by in town Durango. It's going to get about 67 inches of snow. It's not going to be insane. Like, you might get a snow day where you get 6 to 8 inches of snow, and they do a really good job of plowing the streets. So I don't think overall you're going to be too disappointed with somewhere in town Durango, or within that kind of 10-minute radius of in town Durango. Then let's just talk about the areas that start getting more snow. And I'll first start by saying you may or may not want a snow blower if you live in town Durango. It's one of those things where you're not getting an absolute ton of snow, but it also depends on the size of driveway, things like that, if you have a longer driveway, etc. So keep that in mind first. Then let's move out from in town or downtown Durango area. Let's move up north. So from here, from downtown Durango up to about County Road 250 or Baker's Bridge. We'll put that up on the screen where Baker's Bridge is in proximity to downtown Durango. Really, that entire area is going to get a similar amount of snow to downtown Durango. So keep in mind, from there going up north, it starts climbing and climbing and climbing in elevation. You're going to get a lot more snow as you get closer to Purgatory Ski Resort. So just want to make you guys aware that's an area where you're going to get a lot more snow, but a lot of those homes up that direction aren't going to have bigger driveways. They're going to do a really good job of plowing those streets. So it's one of these things where if you're considering a vacation home, first of all, you probably don't even need to worry about this section of the video very much. You might want to have somebody check on the home. You might want to still keep it plowed if you're going to come back here to ski, but you're not going to be too concerned because they do a great job of plowing a lot of those neighborhoods. So let me know if there's a specific neighborhood you're looking at, area you're looking at, and I'm more than happy to tell you exactly what it's like regarding snow. I just did a video recently where I was talking about the snowfall up in the mountain area, and I pulled up a list of all of the areas that got the amount of all the snowfall in each neighborhood. And up near Purgatory Ski Resort, what I did was I compared, they got about 35 inches of snow when in town Durango got about 5 inches of snow. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. Put into context, up near 9,000 feet, they're getting near 30 to 35 inches where you're getting 5 in town. Now let's move out east. East of downtown Durango, you've got Edgemont. Edgemont's probably your biggest neighborhood, or it is your biggest neighborhood east of downtown Durango by about 12 minutes. So they are getting between 50 and 100% more snow than in town Durango. So again, when in town Durango's getting 5 inches, they're getting maybe 10, but they're not getting near what Purgatory is at 30. So that area, the road curves a little bit more. You get a little bit more incline as you're climbing up that road, but it's still nothing sketchy. I would say you might get a little bit more ice on that road, on Florida Road, on your way up to Edgemont. But again, they do a phenomenal job applying the roads. I was sitting down with a client today telling them about considerations about buying up there, and I told them I wouldn't let the amount of snow get in your way of buying up there, because they do a great job of plowing, and there's no roads that are steep. The driveways aren't steep, and they're very short, small driveways. So I don't think it's going to be a big concern for you. As you keep going further east towards Lemon, Vallecito, that area, they're getting a lot more snow. So again, reach out, let me know what area you're looking at, and I can let you know. Now moving, go west of town, which is really the only other main area we want to look at. West of town kind of does something similar. As you get about 10 minutes away or so from downtown Durango, climbs in elevation, going into Wildcat that canyon or County Road 141, climbs in elevation and gets a little bit steeper. The road winds a little bit, so you can get a little bit more ice on there because of these ridges around the road. So kind of both areas are going to be a little bit similar in the elevation as you get that 10 to 15 minutes away, and just the snowfall, a little bit of ice on the road, fairly similar in both of those areas. Well, I'm going to mention one neighborhood real quick. Durango Ridge Ranch is actually out that direction. They have 35 plus acre lots. They do have more of those winding roads in there. Properties are, again, bigger lots, so you want to be cognizant of those longer driveways. You might want to get a tractor or a plow or have somebody plow for you. Now let's go south of town. South of town is going to get the least amount of snow because you're closer to that 6,300 feet elevation. So you're going to get less snow than anywhere else in town. So you don't really need to worry too much about that area unless you're getting bigger acreage. Then you might still want an ATV or some way to plow the roads. Now I actually want to recap what I just discussed real briefly and just say the major things I want you guys to focus on, other than the exact areas that you might get more snow in, being 10-12 minutes outside of east and west, and then of course about 20 minutes outside of the north area of Durango. So those areas are going to start getting more snow. But other than that, I just want to say the main things you want to focus are going to be length of driveway, as well as the steepness of the driveway, and then what the roads look like in the neighborhood. If those neighborhood roads are getting steeper, those are more the main things I want you to focus on. And that's also something that my clients have told me we really appreciated knowing this. Once we started looking, this really helped us a lot. So I want to start by saying that, then reach out to me again if you see homes and you're starting to dial in on the homes that you like, because a lot of these photos, drone photos or photos of homes, won't show the driveway or the entirety of the driveway very well. So I can either go out there, show you the steepness of the driveway, or just tell you because I've already seen the home and I'm looking at a lot of properties every single week. Just want to recap that real quick, and now we'll dive into the next section. And the next section is just going to be actually sharing with you a clip of an interview I did with my parents talking about the healthcare. I think they're going to shed light on the healthcare system, what it's like, their complaints about it, the things they like about it, much better than I'm going to do. So I'm going to clip in that video clip now, and then we'll come back and talk about a few other subjects. Let's clip that in now. Another big plus and a reason why a lot of people choose Durango instead of other towns such as Steamboat, Breckenridge, Ouray, Telluride is because we have a big regional medical center here, Mercy. So I'm gonna look down at my notes real quick and tell you a little bit more about those other towns. So Telluride, Steamboat, and Breckenridge all have a small hospital within 20 minutes. Crested Buttes is 45 to 60 minutes, which is in Gunnison. And then Ouray's is about 60 to 75 minutes, which is in Montrose. So a lot of these are further away from town, and they're not easy drives either. If you're comparing it to a drive in, say, Texas or somewhere where it's just you're hopping on a highway, the drive is not like that. In the winter, those drives are a lot more difficult, if not even possible some of the time. And so something to really factor in when you're looking at medical. Another thing is, I just was talking with a client, we're having a conversation and talking about a doctor that just moved here. And so a lot of the doctors that are here, really good doctors, because Durango draws them here. They want to live here in Durango. So we've got some amazing doctors here. Even though you're not in Denver or Houston, some of these really huge hospitals, we still have a lot of great specialists here. Talking to a lot of locals, a lot of friends, they have a lot of great specialists that they go and see here and really like and appreciate. How do you like the healthcare system, just in general? You just kind of speak to your experiences, any examples?
Well, don't you think, I think we both have good primary care providers. Mm-hmm. That's kind of a crapshoot, if I can use that word, only because, with healthcare changing, that's the way it is across the country. You don't really know how long your primary is going to be here. They could be moving at any time. That's the same way as in Durango. People get unhappy with salaries, they leave. They start aging, they start dropping down their hours. So that's the same everywhere you go, right? Mm-hmm. I think once you get beyond your primary care provider, though, that's where it gets a little sketchy. Well,
you had your experience with your urologist. He saw a specialist and then needed further care and went to Mayo Clinic for some care, and his urologist here left. Okay. So there wasn't a urologist.
Wasn't any follow-up? Yeah.
He didn't have the follow-up that he needed.
Unfortunately, they kind of dropped the ball where I had procedures done, and and I didn't get the follow-up I needed here. And yeah, that's the other side of the coin. And I think
And that could happen anywhere also.
that's true. And I think, we had situation where you were trying to get some supplies for some stuff and got to run around forever. There's, again, it's just, the places that you don't have as many options. That's probably the bigger way to look at it. I think, for example, we now have a urologist now finally, and now they're looking for another urologist, but it's been, several years since trying to fill that. They had people coming in from Colorado Springs that were drive-bys, as I called them. They weren't here permanently. We've got one good gastroenterologist that I really like.
Excellent.
He left, but then he came back. So I'm glad he's back in our community. We've got a good orthopedic surgeon, hand guy. He's really good.
So we do have most every specialist.
I think we've got, but
we have never dealt with cancer, thank God. So I don't know about oncology, what oncologists.
Well, all we can say, Angie, is that could be true, or that could not be true. But the reality is that I think what I would say is that even the urologist that came here, who's pretty good, still doesn't have the experience that you would get if you were at Mayo Clinic or other places with his experience. And so what we find is that some specialists here do a pretty good job, and other specialists, like I can think of one that you saw that was terrible and really shouldn't have been practicing here. We wouldn't want to see him.
Yeah.
So
my experience was I have a health condition that I need to see a specialist for, and I'm a retired nurse. And I should have picked up on the fact that doctor did not touch me. He did not do any physical exam, nothing. And I thought, this is not right. And so I got a hold of his charting, and he charted all of this stuff that he did. And he did not do any of it. So that got reported.
That's good to know.
So I think for anyone who needs medical care, which we all do, and this is something that I've shared with a lot of people, when you move somewhere or you just want to find another doctor, Google their name and write reviews. Dr. So-and-so reviews. Not the reviews at the clinic where they work, but just out there. Google reviews. And sometimes you'll see peer review where the medical people that they work with can review them. Sometimes you see that, but you want patient reviews on these people. And I also, having been a nurse, people would call me at my work in a hospital setting and ask, who's the best OBGYN doctor? Well, ethically, we can't, a medical professional or anyone can't give just one name, but they can give more than one. So I would give more than one name, but the first name I would give would be my top choice of who they see. And then just word of mouth, talk to people around town and see who they see, who they recommend.
Absolutely. Well, guys, if you're even thinking about moving to Durango, give me a call, text, email, days, nights, weekends. Like I mentioned in other videos, we're more than happy to put the drone in the air, give you an area tour if you haven't seen a specific area you're looking at in the videos you're seeing. More than happy to do a home walkthrough as well as a drone tour of a specific property for you. So give me a call, text, email, days, nights, weekends. We've got your back when it comes to moving here to Durango, Southwest Colorado, as well as New Mexico. We'll see you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey,
Bye.
I know this next section, we're mainly going to talk about the things and the amenities that they don't have here in Durango for kids. And especially we're going to lean into the things they don't have for kids in the winter as well. Because obviously once it gets cold, it's tougher to just go outside and play and enjoy the outdoors. Now, of course, we do have some amazing amenities. I'll touch on those briefly. We've got some great videos where we talk all about the things to do for families and kids. We'll throw 2 of those thumbnails up here on the screen right now so you can see those. We'll mainly stick to kind of the negatives, the cons in this video, but I'll also kind of breeze over those in this video too. So let's get started. No trampoline parks. We don't have any trampoline parks here in Durango. In Farmington, they do have one, again, about 50 minutes, a little less than an hour south of here. We don't have a zoo or aquarium. We do have a pretty cool little pet shop where they have a bunch of fish and that kind of snakes and lizards and stuff like that. I really enjoyed taking my kids there. They loved it, but just a little pet shop. It's not an aquarium. We do have a wolf refuge, I will will say. So definitely worth checking out the wolf refuge here, where you can learn about rescued wolves and check those out. And then we do have the Durango Fish Hatchery, which is actually just behind me here. Can't really see it here, but we do have a fish hatchery where kids can feed the fish, learn about the fish, and check that out. And then we don't have any theme parks or indoor water parks. So we do, however, have Tico Time. Tico Time is a little bit south of Durango by about 30 minutes or so. We'll actually put on the screen the distance that I might be off a little bit, but they've got a 25-foot tall water slide jump. They've got a 130-foot water slide. They've got beach volleyball. They've got stand-up paddleboarding. They've got 2 little ponds that they built off of the Animas River. They've got 74 acres of riverfront property, so you've got plenty of river access. They've got river access for fishing. They've got disc golf. They've got a 60-foot challenge course, including zip lining. You can paddleboard, you can just play in the water and use the water just for fun. They've also got tiny homes as well as RV sites where you can place your RV for the summer or monthly rentals. And then they've got a bunch of concerts, like I mentioned, beach volleyball. They've got so many fun different things to do during the summer. So that is something that they were able to bring to Durango that really nobody else offers even close to us here. And then up at Purgatory Ski Resort, they have several different amenities, from downhill mountain biking to a little roller coaster type setup. They've got some other amenities as well for kids there. So there are some awesome options, although we don't have any, amusement parks, rides like that. Now, we don't really have any large entertainment centers for kids, like with bumper carts or mini golf or go-karts, things like that. We don't have any large science centers. However, we do have the Powerhouse, which is kind of a small little science center area for kids to hang out and enjoy. So many different little science projects, little things that they can do. My wife really loves taking our kids there as well. So we do have some things that kind of are similar, but nothing large, especially like go-karts, mini golf, etc. We do have Chapman Hill, and then we do have roller skating rink in the summer, which is an ice skating area in the winter. That is awesome. We don't have really any outdoor ice skating that I can think of. We do have some private areas depending on where you live. There's a few subdivisions that do have private ice skating, but nothing outdoor. We do have a pump track, really cool pump track, tons and tons of mountain biking. As you probably know, if you're looking into Durango, we've got some awesome mountain biking, but we just put up the Mesa Bike Park, or just built the Mesa Bike Park last year. So they've got a beginner and intermediate level downhill courses, and then they just have more biking out there as well, and they're building onto that this summer and next summer as well. So there's a ton of mountain biking. That is something that we definitely do not lack here in Durango. And then we've got the awesome Animas River Trail, 8.9 mile Animas River Trail. Something you might not know is they do a great job of plowing the Animas River Trail so that it's clear of snow in the winter as well. So anyway, I should stick to some things that we don't have because we do have so many awesome things. Outdoor volleyball, well, I'm still sticking to things we do have. We've got some awesome outdoor volleyball over at Santa Rita Park. We've got some great playgrounds throughout. Again, try to highlight some things we don't have. If you compare us to Denver or bigger cities, there's some really cool playgrounds out there that I've seen. We don't have playgrounds like that, where there's some really cool different types of things for kids to play on just at those playgrounds. And then let's talk a little bit more about some winter activities that we do have. We have something called Cafe Al Play. That's kind of this little indoor space for kids to play in the winter. We've got the rec center that I brought up earlier, some great areas to go sledding and tubing. We've got the Polar Express, really cool little North Pole experience on the train for kids in the winter. And then in the summer, we've got Lake Nighthorse. They've got a really cool inflatable area for kids to play on. And then we've got some other lakes as well. So I know I just went over a ton of things that we do have to do, but overall, I think the main things we don't have are some of those bigger indoor areas, indoor places for kids to use, like your indoor skydiving, like those indoor Ninja Warrior courses and trampoline parks, which usually those trampoline parks have a lot of these items, but we don't have really anything like that, any of those indoor big fun centers that a lot of other areas do. Again, 50 minutes away approximately. Down at Farmington they have it, and then in Albuquerque they have stuff like that too. But I think that's kind of the main thing, and then those indoor water parks, theme parks that we don't have as well here in Durango. All right, so next I'm going to briefly go over the home prices here in Durango, Colorado, as well as the county. Then I'm going to show you Bayfield, some other areas around Durango, Colorado as well. And again, kind of hitting like on the con being that the home prices are pretty darn high here. We're one of the higher priced areas in the entire country, and obviously for good reason. It is one of the most incredible mountain towns in Durango, or in Colorado, I should say. So to dive into those numbers, we're going to talk about the Q2 of 2024. So keep that in mind if you're watching this this later down the road. And of course, reach out to me if you're watching this later down the road. But let's talk about La Plata County, specifically county, throughout the county. Median home prices was $643,937. Durango in-town homes, $865. That had come up quite a bit. Durango County homes, $809,500. Then condos and townhomes, $515. Now we're gonna jump over to Bayfield in-town homes, coming in at $520,000. Bayfield County homes, meaning still La Plata County, but just getting outside of Bayfield in town, is gonna be $545. Then we're gonna go up to the Durango Mountain homes, which is going to be the resort area. They're coming in at $1.525. Then let's stick in that same area, Durango Mountain Resort, kind of that purgatory area north of Durango, north of downtown Durango. And that area is going to be coming in for condos and townhomes at $705,000. And then land, 1 to 10 acres. We're just going to stick to residential in the entire county is averaging, or sorry, median price $92,000, came down from $123,000. So overall, you know, Durango Mountain area condos came up by about $300,000 over the last quarter. Let's see, Durango Mountain homes in that resort area dropped by about $500,000. And then if we go up to Durango in-town homes, they actually came up quite a bit by about, let's see, 13.8% for those median home prices. So in-town Durango has come up quite a bit. Again, another con. However, in the county, they have held pretty still, haven't moved up by much. So I hope that helps. Again, reach out to me if you guys are curious about moving here. If you're just curious and you're kind of on the fence looking between other areas in here, just give me a call. I'm a licensed realtor here in Durango as well as New Mexico. Would love to help you guys with all of your real estate needs. Was just sitting down with a client earlier that was watching my YouTube channel, reached out to me. We had a great conversation and I showed them 3 homes earlier this morning. We discussed those homes, walked through them over lunch, and I'd love to do that with you guys as well. So reach out anytime, days, nights, weekends. Looking forward to connecting with you guys. By the way, make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed. That way you can check out the next video I'm coming out with. Looking forward to having some really awesome content in the future. We'll see ya.